person. Before any of that, though, he was an actor. In addition to his extensive professional background and accomplishments, his work with the St. Louis Tea Party and other conservative groups, Bill has become a true leader in the movement to return our country to traditional values and constitutional governance. Bill Hennessy, come on down here.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out today in this heat, and I'd especially like to thank everybody that's wearing deodorant. That little added feature makes us all happier. And I was in a hurry, so I'll apologize for myself, but for those who did, I appreciate it, and I'm sure we all do. What a fantastic venue this is to celebrate America's freedom and our liberty and the future that we're going to forge for ourselves. We may have begun in February, we may have begun in 1776, but every time we get together and we reaffirm our vow to each other and to our children and grandchildren and future generations to keep this country free and to maintain our liberty, we start the American Revolution all over again. So thank you for helping us relaunch the American Revolution today that's going to carry us through, and our next big measurement is November 2nd, when hopefully Chris Matthews gets to whine about the temper tantrum that America just threw. I can't wait to hear Keith Olbermann's excuses for why the Congress switched hands. And I can't wait to hear them explain why so many people voted this time, even more than voted in 2008. And I have a feeling we're going to do that because of the people who come out when it's 100 degrees to gatherings like this, like the small groups that gathered throughout the colonies from 1773 to 1777 to form little organizations, little militias, little political groups, to begin preparing for self-rule when finally the British would leave our shores and we'd be left to run things ourselves. And that's exactly what we're trying to do in the St. Louis Tea Party with the Block Captain Program and the Liberty Evangelism Program. If you haven't heard of those, please listen and please think about doing this here. With every bit of liberty comes a bit of responsibility. And over the last 50 years, the federal government has wiped away a lot of our responsibility. They've taken it. They've absorbed it. They've taken the liberty that goes along with it. But they've said, you're no longer responsible for certain things. Most recently, of course, it's health care, that we're no longer responsible for taking care of ourselves physically. It's nonsense, of course, as the Europeans are finding out. Socialized medicine doesn't work. People have to have some degree of accountability to use their liberty wisely. So we're asking the government to leave us alone and get off of our backs, and we're beginning to lay the foundation of rebuilding the fabric of society that has gotten pretty tattered and torn over the last 50 years. Communities don't know each other as well as they used to. We don't know our neighbors as much as we once did. We don't look to see who needs help in our neighborhoods like we used to, and we have to do that. The story of Shirley Sherrod, the woman who was kind of hung out to dry last week. When you really read about her worldview, it's terrible. Not only did she once blame white people for everything that's wrong in her life, now she blames everyone who has a nickel more than she has. The education system, the media, and I don't just mean the press, I'm talking about movies and television and magazines. Our society and our government have told her for all of her life, she's close to 60 years old, for 60 years she's heard she can't make it on her own, that she can't earn a living. She has to take from a fixed pie what was earned by someone else, or she can't make it. And that's a disgrace, because I heard her speak. I listened to the whole 43 minutes and 15 seconds of what she said to the NAACP in Georgia earlier this year, when she confessed to not helping a white farmer who was about to lose his farm because he was white. And I heard that over time, she overcame that by sitting across the table from a man and his wife. She couldn't let her prejudice destroy that man's livelihood. She couldn't do it. So she got him help. She introduced him to a lawyer. And she admits she introduced him to a white lawyer because she thought that, well, he ought to be helped by one of his own kind. And those were her words. And then she realized that wasn't enough. The lawyer that she introduced him to wasn't doing a good job for him. She introduced him to another lawyer she knew. This was a black lawyer, and he helped. She did everything she could, and she ended up saving the farm. And you know, the farmer and his wife, they never knew what was in her heart. They never knew that when she first met them, she hated them because of the color of their skin. They didn't know. Because all they knew was that over time, Shirley Sherrod helped them save their farm, and to this day, they're still in communication and they're still friends. And the reason I tell you that is because Shirley Sherrod is an example of how we overcome our weaknesses and become better. And this woman has educated herself. She's gotten through school. She's risen up in the Department of Agriculture. And yet the lies that she was told, that she still believes, that she couldn't have done this without taking things away from the people who actually earned them.